So when we talk about unhealed inner work, we're also talking about modeling. Our parents are works in progress. So oftentimes we're teaching them as they're raising us. And whatever they haven't worked on, children tend to model that. It was Bowlby who talked about attachment theory. And in Bowlby's work, whatever attachment style you developed as an infant goes on into adulthood, and it will present itself in your relationships, whether that is a secure attachment, an insecure attachment, or an indifferent attachment. The wounds that our parents left unhealed has the potential to become the standards and principles we have for relationships as adults ourselves. You've heard of the term situationship. I've taken it and made it something different. The situationships that we find ourselves in have the power to cause us to shift our perspective, either for good or for bad. When we shift for good, we've taken accountability of what we've been through, how we've been hurt, unhealed trauma. That causes us to shift in consciousness. So situation shifts can be very beneficial, right? If you're learning. Most people do not enter a relationship to find out what's wrong with themselves. Most people are looking for relationships to bring ease and peace, but that is only half of the coin. You're a co-creator of this relationship experience you're currently in, and that's why a situation shift has a silver lining. In the context of the Shrouded Lighthouse, it's really simple. Whatever you haven't worked on, I classify as a dark light. So if you have anger issues, that's a dark light. If you have abandonment issues, that's a dark light. If you can never take responsibility for what goes wrong in your life, for the struggles that you have in your life, and if you create these coping mechanisms that put all of the culpability on your partner, right? You have to protect me. You have to protect me from myself. These are dark lights. Dark lights are imperceptible. They're harder to see. And sometimes you got to get past that 18-month honeymoon window of the new relationship in order for these dark lights to start rising to the surface. And they rise to the surface so that they may be reconciled. Now, in my previous book, The Holographic Relationship, I talked about spiritual entropy in context to the scientific model. Entropy is the second law of thermodynamics. And what that basically says is any energy system that goes on will begin to break down the longer it goes on. In relationships, this is how we find ourselves looking for that spark that was lost. Another term for entropy is hidden information. So when we talk about entropy, the longer we don't address something, the longer we don't confront something in relationship, the more the relationship begins to break down into chaos. I believe two people, or people in general, have two separate lighthouses. Now, if we look at light in terms of the frequencies and the bandwidth, what is considered visible light is a very small spectrum. What's a wider spectrum is invisible light. What is invisible light? Ultraviolet rays, X-rays, gamma rays. This is light radiation that can't be perceived by the human eye. The metaphor is quite simple. Everybody is a lighthouse that's calling relationships to them, to the shores of their soul, to be reconciled. But you also have a dark lighthouse that works in the same way that the visible lighthouse does. That dark lighthouse is what you haven't healed. That's also calling people into your life so it can be reconciled, so it can be turned into what I call a visible light.
Don't be this guy. Raise your drive and libido. It's time to man up with X-Wolf. Boost your testosterone levels to help decrease your body fat percentage and increase lean muscle mass gains. Boost your stamina and blood flow for those tough workouts. And these workouts also. Go to xlabsubs.com to find out more.
Black business alert. Writers pause coffee.com. Black owned business. Over 20 aromatic flavors and blends to choose from. Caffeine or decaf. Go support this black owned business right now. They have mugs, they have everything. Black owned business, husband and wife. Writerspause.com. Instead of spending your money with Starbucks, Coffee Bean, you can spend it with these solid folk. You under dig? The moment you choose your blend, that's when the roasters who are located all around the country will begin roasting your specific blend. While you're ordering some coffee, also order a cup, a mug. I'm drinking out of one. Oh, I was drinking out of one Monday, but please support writerspause.com. Yo, we up in here. I got a major topic to cover. As you come in, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's get this conversation trending. Let me do a special expose. ZMOS. Zo's own CMOS blend. With Zo's, I was trying to be creative. Sometimes somebody need to slap me when some of the ideas come across. Just shut. But anyway, I took the S from CMOS and replaced it with a Z. I was like, ding, ZMOS. Zo's own brand. It comes with 60 capsules in here. FDA approved, as you can see right here on the back. In the dig. Distributed by me. CMOSbusiness.com. Well, me and others. I mean, we started the CMOSbusiness.com. And I wanted to show people that you can take a company like CMOSbusiness.com that provides what? CMOS in bulk from the country of St. Lucia and start your own micro business. Well, here's mine. ZMOS. You under dig? What's in ZMOS? Well, 500 milligrams of CMOS, 500 milligrams of bladderwrack, 400 milligrams of burdock, and 5 milligrams of bioprene, which is a black pepper extract. Whenever you see a bioprene with black pepper in it, that is to get it to absorb in your body quicker. ZMOS.com. Go support right now. We only got 50 bottles of this. I think we sold like 9 or 12. So supplies are very limited. This is a test run to see what we can do. You can do this if you sign up to CMOSbusiness.com and you want to start your own business like this. You could do this too. I just had to show you that it's possible, right? CMOSbusiness.com. Go there right now and order your ZMOS. Total Package Energy. I'm going to keep riding with Total Package Energy. One of my favorite businesses, one of my favorite black-owned businesses, and I'm glad to be a part of their success. They're growing leaps and bounds with B12, vitamin C, and these are nanotechnology shots. You just put it under your tongue, boom, right into the bloodstream, as well as the classic Total Package Energy shot. I'm just proud to be a part of my alliance with these good people. TotalPackageEnergy.com. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. Of course, you saw the X-Wolf, which is a black-owned company. This is a testosterone booster. Of course, men over 30, pretty good. A lot of different vitamins and well, mainly herbs, right? But good stuff. Maca root, Tonkat Ali, saw palmetto berry, L-arginine, Pantax, ginseng. Good product. I love it and I use it. Xwolf, xlabsubs.com. Also, I'm rocking their shirt today, right? Black inventors make the world go round, right? And it's true. Man, black people run everything. This is the Cluttered Mind Apparel. I want you guys to go there. This is a sister, and she got a black-owned business, and I want you guys to support her until all of her inventory is gone. It's important that we support black-owned businesses. It's important that we support our sisters. It's important that we support our brothers. Before I get into this topic, I need y'all to go mash out on theclutteredmindapparel.com. My mind is cluttered. Theclutteredmindapparel.com. Theclutteredmindapparel.com. Go there right now, The Cluttered Mind Apparel, and support. Rock everything she's got. Buy out all of her inventory. I want to see this sister win, and I want you guys to see her win as well. The website, social media, at The Cluttered Mind Apparel. Follow her there. Facebook, facebook.com/The Cluttered Mind Apparel. Also, she's got a 20% discount. Here's the discount code, all caps. Write it exactly like this. Peace out, hoodie season. Peace out, hoodie season. That's right, we're coming into summer. Peace out, hoodie season. So everybody's gonna get 20% off. So please go throw some support behind this sister. This is the discount code. Peace out, hoodie season. Right? Support. HuriKane Report. You know what it is. It's the HuriKane Report. Black-owned business, run by a group of folk, good people, and they're just trying to keep the black community informed. They're the Black Al Jazeera. And like I said before, whether you call yourself ADOS, American Descendants of Slaves, whether you just call yourself brothers and sisters, whether you call yourself FBA, Foundational Black Americans, the stories that this website pulls together are specifically for us. Please support H-report.news. Also, glowcosmeticsallure.com. You see my beard is coming. Ooh, I'm finna Grizzly Adams them. I'm finna come full beard on y'all. And it's gonna be salt and pepper. You know, my daughter said some disrespectful stuff to me today. She said, Dad, are you gonna do the Will Smith challenge? You know how you got everybody out here taking their shirt off, showing their dad bods, and then they're gonna work out and get healthy again and get fit again. My daughter's like, are you gonna do that? She said, because there's still a cute man inside of you.
No! I love very much.
Well, baby said, you know, there's still a cute man inside of you.
Deep down inside, Dad.
I said, oh, hell no. He's still there. So, you know, I'm going to grow out the full beard and I'm going to lose some pounds because my daughter said I should. And I'm telling you, this beard oil is helping me. Please go to glowcosmeticsallure.com and support this black-owned business. glowcosmeticsallure.com. Tell them Zo Diggity sent you. And of course, you know I have the relationship dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship, available in 3 formats on Amazon.com, Kindle, Audible, as well as paperback. Go there right now, write a review, buy the book, share the book, read the book with your significant other. This is my 2015 release and has been doing well since 2015. Very good book, The Relationship Dismount, how to stick the landing when exiting a toxic relationship, followed up by the 2019 release, The Holographic Relationship. It is available on Kindle, only on Amazon, only on Kindle. But if you want a paperback version, all you have to do is go to my website, IamZoWilliams.com. Support. Now, Shrouded Lighthouse. The Shrouded Lighthouse, we're getting close to our 500 mark. The mark of pre-orders for the ShroudedLighthouse.com. And I know a lot of people have struggled with the website. The website has given a lot of people difficulty. People haven't been able to get in. I know. But please keep doing it. Please keep doing it. We are at 437 pre-orders for the new book, The Shrouded Lighthouse, How to Discover the Silver Lining in Any Situation Shift. Please, 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 if you haven't pre-ordered your copy now, do it now. Anybody who does it during the show, I will shout you out with much love and appreciation and thanks and congratulations and gratitude. This book is coming in late June. Please, 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 please. Can we get to 500 today? I think we can. 437. How many copies is that? 437. 43? No, 63? 63 more. 63 more. There you go. All right. 63 copies. Let's do that. Can we do that today? Why not? All right, let's get to our topic today. Do we have the power to cancel the cancel culture? And are we better at canceling each other than we are canceling the cancel culture? Is the cancel culture a part of the dominant, I love the way Tariq Nasheed says, he calls it the dominant society. Is the cancel culture funded by white supremacy? Is the cancel culture funded by the dominant society? Because this is where all these concepts like code switching and talking one way in front of your friends versus talking another way in front of people you work with and people at the job site. Yeah, you say, oh, it's being professional, right? You're being professional. No, the reality of it is you can be canceled. Your job can be canceled, right? So the cancel culture, to me, is an extension of this society, right? And as you've seen with police brutality, you see how they walk them white folks down? White folk be dangerous than a motherfucker. Machine gun. In the middle of the street yelling at cops, get your ass off my property. They get talked down. They get negotiated with, right? They come on, Billy Bob. We've known you since high school, Billy. Don't do this to yourself, man. They get talked down. They get negotiated with, right? But they're never really called to be accountable, or they're never really canceled. Why? Because they live in a society where they do the canceling. You understand? Where do black people get their power to cancel each other? Because as I'm looking on YouTube, I'm getting so much, everybody is at everybody's neck. Everybody is at everybody's throat. And I'm talking about black folk. We all jumping on each other. Man, listen. I done said this before. Whenever there's drama in my life, my views go up. Like whenever somebody acts a fool, it's must-see TV. We tuned in. We want to know what the fuck shit is. That's what we're interested in. I told you guys a little while ago about a book that I suggest that everybody reads, right? Wait, hold on. Is this feed still live? Are we live? Are we good?
Yeah, it's still live.
Are we live? Can somebody tell me if we live?
We live.
Can you put a fist in the chat that says we're live? Are we live? Yeah. Is the chat room dead? Can you leave a message? Because no. Because I'm confused. I don't see any activity.
They say yes.
I need goddamn activity. Motherfucker just sitting there like.
What we doing?
Okay, so what was the point I was making?
You was talking about cancel culture and you was like.
No, the last thing I said, because I'm old.
I was trying to look for something on here.
What was the last thing I said? I got to remember where I parked, hell.
You on the third floor. Zone.
Shit. Right? I'm talking about the internet, man, and we all, everybody necking, and like I said, man, when there's drama in my life, my views go through the roof, right? My views go through the damn roof. Drama is what sells, right? Dysfunction is what holds our attention, right? And again, it's very hurtful because the most thematic, the most cinematic, the most surround sound, Dolby surround sound drama you ever want to experience is doing self-work. But you'd rather not do that. You'd rather turn to this shit here. You want to go over here. You want somebody else's drama. I mean, everybody talking about everybody in our community. Everybody talking about everybody, right? And not from a journalistic space. Like, and this is what we found out today. We don't have an opinion on it. No, everybody's got an opinion on something, right?
I'm gonna say this.
I tell you what, though. Cancel your white boss. Have an opinion about your white boss. Huh? Billy Badass? Twitter gangsters? IG gang? Yeah, erase your boss. Let's see you do that. Oh, scare ass. Most of you scared to even say shit. I ain't saying nothing to Mr. McPherson. Hell, fear's in his name. McPherson. I ain't gonna fuck with Mr. McPherson. You understand me, baby? I can't mess with boss. But you got an opinion on everything. I ain't listening to nobody who ain't got a wife or a husband. You think you know more because you did it and failed and didn't heal? Uh-oh. See that caveat I threw in at the end? I wanted it to dangle a little bit. You did it and failed, but you didn't heal. So because you did it, you think you know more, but you didn't learn your lesson. So you just doing it just to be doing it. You did it and failed and said, fuck that lesson. I'm going to find somebody that's going to fit a template, an ideological template. This little box, nigga. You want a man or a woman to be prisoner to the rules your hurt wrote, to the standards, principles, and ideals that your hurt is the author of. That's what you want, somebody to behave your hurt, to mind your wounds. See, let me explain something to you. When you pull up the Kabbalion, the 7 Hermetic principles, when you pull up the Kabbalion, the 7 Hermetic principles, you got the divine principle of gender, which is masculine and feminine. You've got correspondence, right? There's some principles in there that seem kind of redundant. In other words, they represent a duality. Why am I presenting this? Because when you listen to a person on the internet, you got the polarity, correspondence, gender. These are all variations of the same thing. There's some balance that needs to be had, right? Okay. So when you're listening to anybody that's talking about anything that's intelligent or that deals with relationship, because relationship in and of itself is a duality. That's why it's called relationship. Okay, cool. So anybody that goes out on a limb and blames one side of any scenario, you got opposites, yeah, right. I'm gonna go out and blame this group. I'm gonna go out and blame this gender. You already know they're starting from an imbalanced place. One of my favorite lines in the Star Wars movie, I told my sons this, I raised them on this concept because when I saw the damn movie, it was the first Star Wars episode. When I say the first, I'm talking about the first prequel episode that George Lucas did. What was that shit called? The Phantom Menace? Pull that shit up. The Phantom Menace with Darth Maul. Qui-Gon Jinn.
What is it called? The who?
The Phantom Menace. Well, Darth Maul is like the villain. He's the Darth Vader of that particular. Anyway.
With the red thing?
Yeah, with the horns. Yeah, pull him up. Pull him on up. Let's pull him up. I'm in my old countryman voice today. Pull him up. Hit the like button, everybody. But yeah, one of my favorite lines in that film was Qui-Gon Jinn, who, again, they using all your spiritual knowledge in these movies. Qui-Gon Jinn is a Jedi. The Jedi is the light side, right? The dark side is Darth Maul. I don't know who these other 2 white kids is. That they wasn't even in the movie. Yeah, but that's Darth Maul back there. Qui-Gon Jinn had just found little boy Anakin. Anakin Skywalker is like 5 or 6 years old or 11 years old or however old. He finds him as a little kid. He was a slave. And what Qui-Gon Jinn said to him, because they took him, they won him, he was enslaved, but they won him from his little alien slave master, but they couldn't win his mom. And this is what created the rift in his spirit when they took him from the planet away from his mom, the planet Tatooine. Exactly, somebody in here knows where I'm going, Cornell Brown. So you got the light side and the dark side. Qui-Gon Jinn, who was played by Liam Neeson, in Star Wars canon, that means the books that they write about the characters and the development of the stories, Qui-Gon Jinn was referred to as what is known as a gray Jedi, meaning he didn't totally agree with everything the Master Yodas and all them people had to say. He didn't think what they was talking about was 100% right, because you can't be all good. Why? That creates an imbalance. There is no all good, just like you can't be all bad. You see this in the yin and yang symbol. One side is white, one side is black. There's a black dot on the white side and a white dot on the black side. Qui-Gon Jinn tells young Anakin as they're leaving his planet, he says, your focus determines your reality. Stick close to me. Although I can't train you right now, watch me. Your focus determines your reality. And I'm saying all of that to say, what the fuck are you focused on, people? You can be canceled from your job by the way you want to act. So the internet becomes this fucking outlet for you to be a troll. And who do you troll more than anybody? You ain't trolling your bosses. You got a whole different fucking platform, or you got a different profile, you got different pictures. You go by a whole new name. Don't nobody know who the fuck you are on these over here, and you not saying nothing about the people who sign your check. You got a whole different alter ego somewhere else so you can talk shit to your own people. We're living in a revolutionary time. You got people out here questioning if these are the end times. You got people questioning if this is Revelations, what Revelations was talking about. You can't go to school. You can't do nothing without this COVID vaccine card. Huh? It's a lot of shit going on, and yet we still have time. I got time today, cuz. We got time. You remember that Snoop Dogg? The last time you was talking to me, I was busy. I was on some other shit, but I got time today, cuz. Like, we've got time to talk shit to each other, to debase, to demean, to disrespect, to demoralize each other. That's interesting to me. We come up with all the slang that white people co-opt, right? White people co-opt the slang, right? What's the slang? It's a gang of shit that's out right now. What's that shit? Because it just fits in so perfect. Keep that same energy.
Oh, yeah, keep the same energy.
We came up with that.
Yeah, the same energy, bro.
But do we keep the same energy with Whitey? Who came up with fake woke? Or too woke? What is it? Too woke. Was it white people who came up with too woke? Or black people? Because I know black people came up with woke.
Yeah.
But who came up with too woke?
That's the new politically correct.
Mother, you too woke.
Just go sleep.
Could that be likened to the same movement that Jesus experienced? Because Jesus was woke, Buddha was woke, Krishna was woke, right? So let me just see. In their time, being what they were made them the enemy. Was Malcolm woke? Made him the enemy, didn't it? Was Martin Luther the King? Martin Luther the King. Was he woke? Martin Luther the King was woke, right? Okay, cool. So it seemed like when you woke, them people come looking for you. And when you're not woke, you left alone to live your basic, mediocre life. These motherfuckers came up with too woke. Somebody, you too woke. Really? Okay. Now, what is the bedrock cornerstone of intelligent minds, which is questioning every fucking thing, has been turned into oppositional, defiant behavior. But none of us are really, really oppositional to the system. You think pouring into the streets and marching during the pandemic so you can get sick because you saw the numbers spike when, okay, cool. You think that is doing something. This was your civil rights movement. Now you can say you marched like your grandparents did. Huh. So your marching is a symbol, right? Questioning is outlawed. The intelligence levels around the country are seen as lame, right? Part of your dysfunction is you think intelligence has to be uber articulate. And even when it does manifest as uber articulate, you seem to think because brothers are articulate that they're somehow playing like they're white or acting white, which is indirectly implying that intelligence is white. Wait a minute. If you are black and you came from black folk, your genes, as Brother Booker T. Coleman, aka Kaba Kamene, that brother said, if you go back 4 or 5 generations, you got damn near 1 million ancestors who live in your DNA right now. Your people go all the way back to the first people, and the first people are the authors of the idea of God and the philosophy. So the first concept of God came from your people. It's unfortunate. You don't know that anymore. You're unaware of who you came from and what you're about. And just like you take his money and his God, you also take on his aspirations. His being white alpha males that are at the top of this society. They're the ones that let you know. Damn near every gangster rapper named themselves after some kind of mafioso or world dominating white house, white family, Rockefeller, Rothschilds, Gambinos, Tony Montana, all that. But Tony Montana, was he Cuban? Yet here we are canceling each other. That's where, the reason why we do that is because that's the only place we can get power. We can feel like we're powerful, canceling each other. The moment you try to cancel the infrastructure, they be like, who that?
Preferring to destroy instead of create.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Oh, preferring to destroy instead of create.
Preferring to destroy over creating. This goes back to my point. My point is, if you're going to help your people, you got to lead with your flaws. Just like your children in your household need to see you healing in front of them. They saw you fucking up in front of them. They saw you arguing. They saw you demeaning and disrespecting each other in front of them. They need to see y'all heal in front of them so they can have a spiritual blueprint of how to do both and what the way back looks like, right? So if you're going to be helping your people, you have to help them while exposing you, the real you, the true you, right? Again, we act like we are the mask we wear. We think we are that shit. We identify with our Halloween mask. Why? Because behind your mask is a fucking horror film. And you think as long as you keep that mask up here manicured in front of you, niggas ain't gonna never meet you. Wrong. Do you know they meet your energy and your frequency at the same time as they meet your mask, which creates cognitive dissonance in them spiritually? He did everything right, but something is off. It was a wonderful evening, but there's an aftertaste in my spirit. Well, I'm going to keep pushing and see how it plays out. But it was, man, trust me, you were thoughtful. You pulled my chair out. You paid for dinner, everything. But spirit is saying, and then now women be put in a position, the shit was cool. It was a nice vibe. I laughed, all that shit. But I still had a little aftertaste. That aftertaste is that intuition saying, hey, that mask, that Halloween mask of Thundar the Barbarian, of Lion-O from the Thundercats, that's a wonderful mask. But this energy back here behind that mask, that shit is still there, y'all. So whenever you see relationship specialists that exclusively blame one gender, that's an imbalance. Going back to my point about the Kabbalion, when it polarity, correspondence, gender, duality, these are all dual kind of concepts within the 7 universal principles, right, or universal laws that apply to the universe. So, if somebody is a relationship specialist, a coach, or whatever, and they come out and they just cater to one group, you know who does that too? The publishing industry. You want to get your book published? First, you got to be a super uber influencer with an amazing following, celebrity, because that's the only way they're going to give you money for your book, for your manuscript. Right? And then if you're doing relationship work, they're going to say, you need to cater and tailor this work to women because it's women that do the most book buying. I had a publisher tell me this. Imbalance. Relationships deal with both genders, masculine and feminine. Relationship is spiritual across the board. I've said this before. Everybody has a seat at the table. We was talking about Kevin Samuels. All right, Kevin Samuels doing a great job for people within a certain mindset. Yeah. He's doing a great job for that kind of person. What do you mean, Zo? You live in a narcissistic, transactional, broken, dysfunctional world who will sell bare aspirin tainted with HIV to France because they just don't want to destroy it and they don't want to lose the money. So if you live in that kind of society, you think that kind of toxicity isn't in you? My favorite Krishnamurti quote, what is it? It is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. Well, if you're not the author of your idea of success, now you're in an aspirational space striving to be like your oppressor. You want to live on the same hill that he lives on. Because in that way, it tells you you climbed the mountaintop of his world. And now you have something to build an identity on. This is who I am. Huh. See what I did. Now, just like Chris Rock said, I'm Chris Rock, international comedian and superstar. And I live in this exclusive neighborhood, but next to me is a dentist, white man. So you can't really go over to them and beat your chest. They said, nigga, I'm the dentist, you're Chris Rock, and you live next to me. I don't live next to you. This is our community. You live next to me. You got the cojones to cancel each other. But we don't have the testosterone, or as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan would say, the testicular fortitude to cancel the system. So, again, no disrespect to Kevin Samuels. And oh, here's another word we use is clout chasing. I try my damnedest not to say nobody's name. Because I don't like, I'm not internet beef guy. I don't like that, and I'm not looking for that. I'm just giving my assessment based off of all of the stuff I've been getting to. So, Kevin Samuels, I already said it. 48 laws of power of relationship. Don't outshine the boss. It's those kind of relationship tools, right? If you have wealth, if you have money, right? You tend to want a trophy wife. What is a trophy wife predicated and based on? Well, in terms of beauty standards, they're predicated and based on European standards of beauty. European standards of beauty is thin nose, thin lips, straight hair. Right? Never outshine the master. Look at that. How does that apply to your relationships? Well, if they got all the resources, they're the master. They're in control. Power dynamics in relationship. If they have all the knowledge, all the money, all the relationships and all the connections, and you're just their partner, power dynamics are off. And if you want to stay getting taken care of, exactly. You participating in this relationship. You're not a partner. You're a participant. Never outshine the master. Law number 2, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. You mean to tell me we're not implying this? We're not applying this in our relationships? How many people you really in love? I mean, how many of y'all really in love with your partner? Or it serves a purpose to be there? Wow. Financial infidelity is real in relationships. What is financial infidelity? Hidden bank accounts, hidden resources. Never put too much trust in your friends. Learn how to use your enemies. Do not husbands and wives become enemies at certain points? Okay, cool. Law number 3. I'm just showing you that what the brother is teaching isn't necessarily bad. He ain't the first person to teach it. But you got to know what level of consciousness that brother's speaking to. What level of dysfunction in his society that's catering to. And remember, a lot of this shit has to do with what? Being entertained, watching a train wreck. Oh, let's see who he clowned this week. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not really about spiritual edification and learning the real spiritual purpose of relationship. That isn't to demean or marginalize what he's saying, because what he's saying in context to who we are in this society is true. Tone Talks, pull in his information. 80 million white homes worth over $100 trillion. 20 trillion of that is liquid versus 20 trillion black homes with only 6 trillion of wealth, and only 350 billion of that is liquid. Okay, cool. Law number 3, we talking about mercenary type relationships and why in a limited scope, what that brother is talking about has purpose and meaning.
Is he saying it's how to get one?
No, I'm saying your position in one.
Oh, okay.
Law 3, conceal your intentions. We not deceiving each other in relationships on a regular basis? Law number 4, always say less than necessary. You can't apply this to relations. Okay. I wonder if y'all listening to me. I wonder if y'all hear what I'm saying. I wonder if any of this is resonating. Right? Why would we cancel? Why would we cancel, right? That brother talking like that. Why would we cancel him? Because to me, he's exposing a lower layer of consciousness that may be unconscious to the participants at that level of thought. That level of thought is an outgrowth of what? In my opinion, white supremacy. Because somebody told us, I remember back in the day, somebody told us that the only color that matter, right, is green. So let me tell you about green. Green is racist too. Because have you ever heard of the statement? I got uncles who have heard this statement being presented to them. And the statement was, your money is no good here.
Oh, yeah.
Economic redlining. Yeah, I know you got the money, but you can't live in this neighborhood. So you say, oh, the only color that matters is green. No, not really. You understand? So why is it so important for us to stop trying to cancel each other? See, because it's easy. Listen, we do it in relationships all day. I didn't sign up for this. It's easy to hold your relationship partner in contempt than it is to be culpable for your co-creation of a situation that you claimed you wanted at one point, but helped build into something that you no longer want. So before you slip, because it's easy to go into contempt. It's easy to say, you know what, you got to go, or I'm out. It's easy to be, all right, I'm gonna head out. But you're gonna head out and in to a continuation of what you didn't finish here. That's just how spirit works. See, this society is a carnal, capitalistic, materialistic, mercenary type society. So it keeps all of your desires and wants very, very superficial. But when you start to understand the true purpose of relating, it's about looking at your mirror every day, your spiritual mirror every day. Every lie you tell yourself tends to manifest itself somewhere in your life.
Sometimes in your body.
And typically it be your relationships. How? Well, you get somebody barking like they a big dog, but they really enter a little, you know, a little puppy. But they got a fully developed throat and voice box. So they sound like a big dog and they bark like big dogs until they actually meet a big dog. Yes.
Someone in the chat room says heavy-set women has never been the physical beauty standard in any nation.
That's not true.
That's so not true.
That's not true. Back in the day, skinny women were considered sickly.
Thank you.
If you go back and you look up this, I'll look it up for you. This statue of, I think it was Venus, ancient statue of Venus. Right? And this is probably an out of shape dude talking. Right? This is probably a dude like, here you go. Sarah, can I send this to you?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you this. Pull up these pictures.
Okay.
I'm going to text it? I can't.
Email
Email it. All right, here you go right here. You know, I ain't mastered my damn computer yet. But pull up some of these pictures. They're not really skinny, dog. The average woman in America is a size 14.
Where did you look it up?
Sarah? I sent it to Sarah. Yeah. You know, big women ain't attractive. I bet you, this ain't no disrespect to you, but I bet you your mama big. If you African American and y'all love greens, fried everything, right? I bet you. My mother was big. And she struggled with it, and she died from it. My mother was beautiful, though. And I'm not just saying it because it was my mama. You know, there was a time, story time with Zoe Williams. There was a time that me and my brother, we had to beat up one of my mother's boyfriends. He was a gym teacher at Blair High School. And I don't understand how he was a gym teacher and he himself was fat as hell. But he was a gym teacher. Look at this, look at that. He was a gym teacher. And he was at our house and my mother asked him to leave and he was like, I ain't going nowhere. Well, he didn't know how bad her little kids was. Hey, Mark, if you still alive, I'm sorry, Mark. But we went in there and beat his ass. And not only did we beat his ass, we had a dog, little pit bull named Duke.
Oh my God, no, when your dog named Duke?
We had a little pit bull named Duke. That motherfucker was sitting on that couch. We told him to leave. I hit him with a bike chain. He wouldn't leave. Well, we let Duke loose on his ass, and Duke chewed his ass. Oh, God. Lead with your dysfunction. We all are not perfect people. Lead with your dysfunction. Show your community and your family a blueprint of how you overcame that shit. That's what, to me, that's what makes your voice valuable. If you come across as manicured and perfect, you represent an imbalance in nature because everything in nature interlocks. We breathe oxygen, trees breathe out, trees breathe out oxygen and breathe in our carbon dioxide. We breathe out carbon dioxide. We breathe in oxygen. Our carbon dioxide is oxygen for trees. I just sent you a picture of my mother and my grandmother. My mother was a beautiful woman, and she wasn't always big. But we sitting up here talking about big women like they're not beautiful. Well, what am I gonna say? Go get Furpo Carr's book. Oh God! Don't. They finally took her picture away. I'm happy. They done took that damn picture. Oh my God. I can't stand her. But go get Furpo's book, Wicked Words, Poison Minds, where he talks about every word in the dictionary. This is a highly educated, this is a bona fide scholar. This is one of the first black men who ever saw the Nag Hammadi tablets. The tablets that were found in the Qumran caves. Yeah, the book, the writings of the Essene that Jesus was supposed to be a part of. He was one of the first black men to actually see the transcripts. He saw them at Huntington Library down in Pasadena, South Pasadena. He was one of the first ones to look at. He can actually read this shit.
I want to meet Furpo.
Furpo is no joke. That's why you should take that goddamn picture down.
I want to meet him. Furpo, I want to meet you.
And all I'm going to say again, Furpo wrote a book called Wicked Words, Poison Minds. They in there talking about a big ass was negative. Stegiopia, or some word they used. Yes, you see that woman that you put up there with the little butt and the bustle and all that? That bustle butt. Hey, bustle. Now that's where they got the bustle from, right? Sarah Bartman, they got the bustle from her. So while they're demeaning her and traveling Sarah, that's not actually Sarah Bartman, but that's Sarah Bartman. But I don't even think that's her either. But she comes from a tribe of women like that. These motherfuckers is parading her around Europe as some kind of animal while secretly attracted to her.
They put a costume on this one.
But those bustle dresses come from these women. Do you understand?
Yeah, he's right here.
So, and then they say, and they have a special word in there. Mike actually has the video of this. I wish I could send you the video of Furpo breaking this down. There's a word in the dictionary that talks about having a little butt as sexy. Yeah. Having a big butt is gross, having a little butt is sexy. Go get Furpo's book, Wicked Words, Poison Minds. He traces the racist history of every word in the European dictionary.
We love you, Furpo. We love you. Okay. Who's your mommy?
That's my mother and my grandmother.
I swear I have seen this lady in Texas.
You talking about the Hottentot tribe, yes. But, yeah, that's my mother. That's my mother, Rose.
She was just like one of my mom's friends.
Rosetta. Hey, mama. She's my ancestor now. Hey, mama. I miss you, mama. 2009, man. Mama. Anyway. No, what's crazy is when I see my cousins, my first cousins, my cousin Craig, Carrie, and Carlo, I see they mama, and I be like, looking at her like, damn, she look exactly like my mama. And I don't give a fuck. I just sit and listen. So, and that's their grandmama. See, that's Big Mama right there. That's my mama's grandmama. But my mother's mother, who's also in that picture, that's Big Mama's daughter. See, Big Mama had a white man.
Yes, come on. It was so.
Or he had to be biracial, something. Big Mama was swirling. Big Mama, you out here swirling out here during damn near Jim Crow time. She out here swirling. We're gonna see what that pink man about. What? Big Mama, what is going on? But I bet you couldn't cancel her though. You couldn't cancel my grandmother Nancy Bell either. Put that picture back up. My grandmother, that's Nancy Bell, Rosetta's mother. That's Nancy Bell. They say Nancy Bell had green eyes exactly like mine. And for a long time, nobody in the family was born with those eyes. And then I came and they was like, this boy got Nancy Bell's whole face. Got her eyes and everything. Nancy Bell just so happened to be a Gemini as well. You understand? Nancy Bell died on a number that makes my birth year, or not birth year, but you know, in astrology, when you have your, what's that number? Your life path number. No, my soul path number. She died at 36 from stomach cancer, I hear, after having 11 or 12 kids. My mother was the oldest. My soul number is a 9. She died at 36. 36 is 9. She was Gemini, I'm Gemini. It's not about making excuses for being obese. Let me explain something to you. Not everybody is the same shape. You got some skinny, sickly motherfuckers running around here too. My question is, you have a preference, that's fine. You can have a preference. You don't like fat girls, great. Nobody is going on a you should like a fat girl campaign. Nobody's doing that. What I'm saying is, before you go on your campaign, make sure you are the author of your dislikes, of your preferences. We already know white supremacy has an effect on what we think is attractive based on skin tone alone. That's why colorism affects our community in the way that it does. So nobody is telling you, you gotta like fat people, or I'm making excuses for fat. No, I'm saying my mother wasn't super skinny all her life. And there was a time she was super skinny. But I'm saying, I beat up at least 4 or 5 boyfriends when she was big. So she was beautiful. Didn't nothing stop that. You understand? I remember one boyfriend she had, his name was Art. She liked Art, but I hated Art. Whew. I hit Art in the head with one of them milk cartons. You know those milk crates? He was talking reckless. I said, Art, man, you better get the fuck up out of here, dog, or it's gonna go bad. I live here now. Who said you live here, Art? I'm here for your mama. Oh, really? well, as long as I'm here, Art, I'm gonna have to sign off on that. Art got hit right in the head. Bah! And then he was holding his head, stumbling down the street. My mama, why you do that to Art? I said, look, Mama, can't just anybody come through this motherfucker. Art ain't. The way you carry yourself, just let me know I can do whatever the fuck with him. That's my friend, don't do Art like. I said, okay, he can be your friend, but meet him on the block. So you got, Mama, we can't do it like this, Mama.
Be like, I got 5 smooth rides.
We all fucked up, right? Yeah. Listen, man. We all fucked up, man. We all got work to do.
Yo, he said Art's still on the run.
Art, hey, I fucked Art up. Oh, but rest in peace, Art, because he died. He died a few years, you know. Rest in peace, Art, because finally he understood, like, I can't come in here acting like the man or some shit. It ain't even that kind of party up in this. He was like, Miss Rose got 4 sons, like, and that's the youngest. This nigga wild. Like, so he just needed an attitude adjustment, and I was the one that gave it to him.
That's the sofa assassin.
But Art passed away, and at the end of the day, he did bring a modicum of happiness, you know, to my mother's life. And again, part of my satisfaction as a grown man at this stage of the game is to be around my family members and they see me different. See, when I was little, they was like, that's a little brilliant, badass motherfucker. Big Mama was like, Rose, he gonna get killed. Rose, if we don't get a hold of him, Rose, we gotta get him, Rose. If we don't get a hold of him, Rose, it's gonna be curtains. You understand? But to be around my family now, and they go, well, damn, he not dead. But not only is he not dead, we watched him make a full circle in his personal development as a young, reckless little motherfucker into an established, respected, grown-ass man. So I recognize that in dysfunctional homes, that full circle payoff is not in most homes, right? And I'm talking real talk here. We cancel people that we can't control. We cancel people that we can't make or bend or mold into what we want them to do. Now, my question is, when you molding somebody into what you want, please make sure that your fears and your ego is not at the potter's table. Do you understand? Most of us are in pursuit of societal accolades and achievements. And we think if I got the Bentley and I got the bank account and I got the crib and the cars and I got all this other shit, I got everything, I should be in control of the relationship. Well, a relationship is not a superficial thing like a car is, like you get what I'm saying, like clothes, right? Relationship is spirit. It is a spiritual holographic mirror of you. Now, what you gonna do with that reflection? What do most of us do? Blame. We don't claim. How did I attract this person? Who is he? Where in the hell did he come from? It should be recontextualized. Where in the hell, which is the hells of me, the depths of me, did he come from? Shit I haven't worked on. Did you know negative self-talk is a beacon for busters? Did you know low self-esteem, low self-worth, that's a beacon? A holographic, vibrational, energetic beacon that calls in busters? So you can relate. What you only relate to what is you. Anything that isn't you is not relatable. I don't know what that is. But you know what, we met, there was a vibe, there was a connection. And yeah. But not only the good feeling is connecting, so is the darkness. So are the triggers. So is the unhealed trauma. All that's relating and connecting. All of it. So yes, Brother Kevin speaks on certain things that are true at a certain level. At a certain level, there's a bunch of black men in professional sports that want designer babies, right? They want babies that are light-skinned. They want biracial kids. There's a group of brothers like that, but that doesn't account for all brothers, right? There was a report that just recently came out. I forgot where it came from. You might be able to find it. It said 83% of high-earning, wealthy black men still choose to marry black women. But that's 83%. Right? That would mean there's a whole 17 other percent that's like, okay, I want a Blasian baby, or I want a Blexican baby, or I want a biracial white baby. I want light eyes and natural baby hair that you don't have to sculpt from your...
No, but they get these women, and just like the man that was Asian, that sued the lady that he married.
Yeah, because they was ugly.
Yeah, because she had
all the surgery. He sued her because his kids don't look like your surgery face.
surgery face. Oh, surgery face ass baby.
Right. These babies belong to somebody else altogether. So, my question then comes back to the people. At what level of consciousness would you like to stay at? Would you like to stay at the superficial power struggle level of consciousness? The superficial power struggle says go out and get as much as you can get, and then nobody can tell you what to do. Nigga, I don't need you for that. Y'all remember that? You can kick rocks, nigga. I don't need you for that. Women are on that now. I don't need you for that.
Why it never flipped on Kevin Samuels though?
Huh?
Why they never have a flip side? Like he never has talking about women that have all this money and the dudes.
I think he does. I think he does. I think he does. But the reality of it is both. Men and women that are at that level of consciousness and interact in relationships at that level of consciousness, for the most part, some but not all, really be on some power shit. It's really about power. And when it turns into power, power always trickles into possession, i.e. trophy wife, i.e. trophy husband, the pool boy. The mechanic.
The plumber, yeah.
Do you understand? So I want y'all to be clear on that. That's why I say there's a space for that brother and where he's at. Right? Because if you spiritual, you understand God and the universe and the source of all that is very economical in its creation, in its movement. Meaning, that's just a fancy way of saying there are no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. So that means that dude has a reason to be here and speak on shit. from his perspective. This is why it's hard to say he's not right, but it's also, or you can also come with a counterbalance. He's not totally right. He's right for a certain level of consciousness. And if you're paying attention, I always tell people, stay out of it. Stay out of the fray. Stay out of the fray.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please, can y'all stay out of the fray? Don't pick a side. Relationships are about healing. That's it. Healing. You want to heal? You got to relate. You first relate to yourself. And once you're able to truly relate to yourself and get over all your bullshit, then you can start relating to others. Right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, even that which you ignore within yourself that needs healing, you will see in somebody else. What do you mean, Zo? You've been ignoring your dark side, but you see everybody else's dark side clearly. Right? And then what do I say to that? I say, how did I attract this type of person? I said, did you recognize him? Yeah, I saw what he was. Well, how can you see and recognize some shit that you ain't? Because otherwise, you don't know what, if you don't know what a snake is, you'll walk right up on that motherfucker. Babies be doing that shit all the time. Hey, get the baby. This nigga.
So the reason why I like the guy with the ankle monitor is because in some way I feel trapped?
No. 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 No, that's not it. No, for a lot of people, you're attracted to a nigga with the ankle monitor because, no, listen, because it's either loneliness, I just want companionship. Like, your mind will be saying, what the fuck did he do? Right? Your mind, your intuition, spirit be like, ancestors, everything be like, is he violent? What did he do? But your dark lights from your dark lighthouse might be saying, but you lonely and you ain't had dick all year. What you want to do? And he cute and he nice right now. That dark, hey, listen, those dark lights, your shadow self be speaking. Be like, hey.
But why is Mike up so loud?
Hey. This nigga gonna give you something to eat?
No, you don't have no job.
Okay. Dark light is real. And when dark light is not reconciled, dark lights in your spirit, or what Carl Jung called shadow self, gets elevated to a leadership and management role in your relationship departments. You're like, go on. Let's sign off on this. Because look, that dark light in you is saying, I got a dark light over there that I could be fucking. In him. Do you get what I'm saying? Your dark light is saying, his dark light is compatible with us. See, what you fail to realize, there's a lot of payoff in toxicity, in drama. You can get addicted to these toxic cycles, right? Again, relationship specialists that deal with just one gender,
baby, he don't respect you and don't love you, and you are the answer to everything. Okay, that's off.
That's really odd.
But so is the opposite. It's 100% the man's fault and responsibility for everything. We've had fathers that were raised like that. Anything that go wrong is your fault. You get what I'm saying? Now, social level versus spirit level. Right? The spirit level is like quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is random. There's no logic or reason there. Physics, and there's two types of physics, right? At this stage of our development as human beings, two types of physics. Or two schools. You have the Newtonian, Einsteinian, which deals with the large, the macro, right? Then you got Niels Bohr and all of those guys, Schrodinger and Heisenberg. You got all of those guys on the quantum level. The macro is logical and linear. The macro is the masculine. Logical, just like your brain. Left brain, logical, linear, masculine. Right brain, feminine, non-logical, non-linear. The feminine is more in tune with the illogical, which is spirit. Where's inspiration come from? Go get the book by J. Krishnamurti, where he sits down with theoretical physicist Dr. David Bohm. The name of the book is called The Ending of Time. And he talks about insight. He says knowledge is a reflex of memory. Memory is what you recall. You have psychological memory, which holds all of our trauma. And then you have technical memory, which holds the memory on how to build a computer or a cell phone or fix a car. Technical memory leads to technological advancement, which is good. Psychological memory leads to dark lights, spiritual wounds being elevated to what? Leadership role in your relationship selection process. So, spirit, or that which is illogical and irrational, is feminine. The masculine is the macro, the world, the matrix we live in. So in the book, The Ending of Time, Krishnamurti said, knowledge is a reflex of memory. So it's by default the past. Get it? This is how you build a computer. That's a reflex of memory. This is how you build a car. That's a reflex of memory. Knowledge, right? Now watch this. Psychological knowledge is, damn, that shit hurt me. It wounded me. So now I got to protect myself against niggas who would take advantage of me. Yeah. Now you become what Dr. David R. Hawkins called a slight collector. Again, you have confirmation bias. So now, because you've been wounded, you looking for it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Whatever the thinker thinks, the prover will prove. So, we done forgot all about the spirit purpose of relationship. This nigga is here to bring me a certain level of complexity and drama so I can overcome whatever I molded, whatever that was toxic that I molded in my home, in my formative years. I know, and yeah. So in that book, he talked about knowledge being the past. And he said, because it's the past, there is a repetitive nature to knowledge. There is a repetition to it. look at repetition creates routine. The relationship dismount. You take a gymnast, the gymnast routine is only as good as the dismount, how you end it. So he explained in this book, he said, Dr. David Baum said, well, where does insight comes from? He said, in between thoughts is where insight lives. Insight is an extension of spirituality. So anybody who ever had writer's block, you writing your book and you got ideas and you get stuck. The hardest thing to do is try to push through the stuckness. So sometimes you got to release it, walk away, and you into something else. And then a flash of insight. It happens in between the repetition of the known, which is the root of knowledge. Knowledge is the reflex of memory, repetition. Now, how you going to get any spiritual insight about your relationship if fear is replaying old trauma, re-traumatizing yourself? How are you going to, How are you going to get a different experience? Fear is running it. Your ego is running it. You are re-victimizing yourself. You are projecting fear and anxiety, and you have let those dark lights become a lighthouse to draw in relationships to tell you, this is you, not who you drew in. He's just the mirror. But this is you. Why do you like the nigga with the ankle bracelet? How does he get a chance? And I'm not saying judge him negatively. I'm not, you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying judge him negatively. I'm just saying, why am I attracted to that particular type? Is there an energy? Is there a swag? What do you say, sister, do you like the bad guy? Why?
It was the energy he gave.
It was the energy. Oh.
No, we were in person when I met him. It was like undeniable though. Like it was kind of like.
But what was undeniable?
I was curious.
At what level? Pull up your chakra centers. Was it undeniable at your root chakra, your sacral?
Is that what you put there?
That's what it was there.
Yeah, it was that one.
Do you see? So now, do you get what I'm saying? There's a different feeling when an intellectual or a spiritual, now you're into heart, throat, head chakras. Now the vibration is intensifying. And you understand, hey, this ain't just about that. Do you get what I'm saying? But so many people are unaware of these ancient systems that we were the authors of. These ancient spiritual practices that we were the authors of, that we just crash into this understanding. That root was tangling. Root tangle. That root tangle. How often has your root been tangling? It's the angle of the dangle. Listen, I put a quote out recently that I'm not sure, but I put a quote out recently that somebody tagged me in on Twitter. I'm gonna try to pull it up. Very interesting. Having your shit together has nothing to do with the maturation of your soul. Your shit can be together.
Oh, absolutely.
I got a great tax lawyer. I got an estate planner. I've got all the things I need to maintain my wealth. My money makes money while I'm sleeping. You understand? My money is making money. My money is my employee. You see what I'm saying? My money work for me. My money got to fill out a W-2 and a W-9. And you understand? My money is an independent contractor. I pay my money to work for me. You understand? But be miserable as shit on the intimate relationship side of the game. Just because your shit is together doesn't mean you are maturing spiritually. Hey, listen, y'all, I'm not going to hold y'all long. You guys heard what I was talking about. Who should go in our community? None of us should go. Everybody has a role to play. But if you remain an objective, non-judgmental observer of everybody's role, you might be able to extrapolate jewels in everybody's talk. Nobody has all the truth. Nobody has all the answers, and damn sure ain't nobody perfect in this bitch. Nobody perfect. I don't care if they got on a cardigan from the set of the Cosby Show. One of them special cardigans. What was that shirt called that a Gordon Gartrell? I don't care if a motherfucker got on a Gordon Gartrell in this motherfucker. He ain't perfect.
My favorite episode.
Somebody said go overtime, Zo. I'll go overtime if I get at least, I mean, shit, I've been on for 98 minutes. We have no Shrouded Lighthouse pre-orders. I told y'all how important it is for y'all to support this book and support the project. And every time I sit here and speak for an extended amount of time, I'm really going into the nuts and bolts of this book. So, I mean, please show your appreciation for your brother, right? Show your appreciation for your brother if you haven't already done so. If we can get everybody to go to theshroudedlighthouse.com, we only need 60 copies. What was it? What we said? 63 copies to get to our mark of 500 pre-orders. Those 500 pre-orders will be autographed. But we only need to get 63 copies. I'm hoping that everybody in here can go support that. But yeah, man, nobody should be canceled. Everybody has a lane, right? And we shouldn't be trying to cancel people within our own community when we don't have the testicular fortitude to cancel the toxic society that everybody lives in. Everybody live in the same toxic fucking society. And there is white power structure at the top of it, and ain't nobody Billy Badass enough to tackle them. Mr. Burns, excellent. I'm Gemini too, Zo. It hurts trying to teach my family because they not as open like me. Well, it shouldn't hurt because their journey is their journey and yours is yours. It hurts because you think you can change them. Once I grew up realizing you can't change nobody. The key is deal with people who are willing to keep an eye on themselves. I don't know if y'all heard that. That's how you know you're dealing with a grown-up, a spiritual grown-up. Somebody that keeps an eye on themselves.
You mean mind they own?
I'm finna mind what's mine to mine. You know how many motherfuckers be calling themselves growing up spiritually while peeking and looking over at their partner's progress? See, you bullshitting. You should be where I am at this point. See, hey, listen, I'm vegan. I done read some books. Nigga, things is changing for me, and you sitting there being the same person you are. Hey, so what if your spirit was in a vehicle that you were driving and it needed you to keep looking at the road so you could stay on the road. The moment you look over at your partner, you done rolled off the road. And their development has shit to do with yours. So the best you can do is find a person that is willing to keep an eye on themselves and another eye on the work that's necessary for them to do. As soon as you get ready to look over at your partner, that eye on yourself should be like, hey, that ain't none of your business. Sometimes I see me besides myself. I bet. You're not responsible for your partner's growth or development. You're not. All right. What? Go ahead. What do you have to say?
But a lot of times your care that you have towards that person, sometimes like it gets annoying when you feel.
That's not care.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's not.
It's not. Okay.
See, sometimes when you're a parent, you're going to realize sometimes caring for your kids, the best way to do it is to let them bump that head. See, just like a parent always wants to rush to a child's aid to help them, at some point you grow up and you realize if I save them every time, they're going to get addicted to the cycle of putting themselves in danger knowing that I'm going to save them. Sometimes their best lessons is bumping that big ass watermelon head, rattling them seeds around. They be like, oh shit. And then sometimes the best position as a parent is to sit back and see, I told you this was going to happen. Well, why didn't you? Because I can't do that for you every time. If you want to grow up, you're going to have to start making better decisions before you get yourself in this situation. Go ahead, ask another question.
Okay. So,
Sarah.
So ankle monitor, he's saying that.
Oh, ankle monitor is a real person?
Ankle monitor is a real person.
Oh, Jesus. Somebody help Sarah. Can a quality man, a quality loving man, put up your picture, Sarah, show yourself. Can a quality loving man, ooh, girl, you can tell that girl make pancakes, cream of wheat with them little bitty flavorful lumps in them. Yeah. Oh, Lord have mercy. Reach out to Sarah, some good man. All right.
Okay, so what turned me off from kind of like being with him, like intimately, because he said he's been going through a whole lot and he just wanted to release in somebody. And I don't.
Wait. Hold on. The motherfucker told her he been going through a lot and he just wanted to release in somebody. And you gave him a chance, honey?
I know. I did not. I know after that. This is when he came back around like again. And like, that's why I haven't like seen or talked to him.
No, don't talk to somebody like that. Because that's not cool. What are you, a release receptacle?
Exactly. I don't want that. All that.
No.
Oh
What are you releasing, nigga?
Yeah.
Because it's not just physical. There's spiritual releases too.
Yeah. I don't want
Hey, you know, I've been through a lot and you know what, Sarah, I'm just gonna need to release in you. No! You got on the ankle bracelet talking about releasing them people? Hell no! Come on, Sarah.
This is the bullshit I
You know, this ain't got nothing to do with you and you know what's good for you. I'm just saying, because I've been through a lot.
You're going to take on his demons. Oh, I don't want it. That's going to stop me.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Like, I don't want it.
I mean, you know, hey. Ankle man. He's like a superhero that just shoots at niggas' ankles or roll up on their ankles. What the? Ankle man told you he just wanted to release. Okay. That's just a damn shame. Hey, somebody just pre-ordered a copy of the book. We got our first. Hey, Latoya. Thank you.
Hi, Latoya.
Thank you, Latoya. Thank you. Again, this book, man, I wanted to do this book because, did you get that picture?
Which one?
From me, from the script, from the show script. Somebody's healed son.
Somebody's healed son.
This.
Huh?
This right here.
Oh, yeah.
Put that up. If that's somebody's healed son and you just you and you ain't healed, you ain't gonna be in that picture. You don't get somebody's healed son just cause you. Do you understand? You get somebody's healed son once you heal. See, we live in a society that says, I deserve. You deserve. You deserve. Let's go back to black holes. Do you know black holes get bigger based on the objects that they consume? And there is a capacity for how much a black hole can consume. It can't just keep consuming. There's a capacity, there's a limit. But when black holes are small, they consume something and get bigger and bigger and bigger. So, in other words, a black hole's size is in direct proportion to what it has consumed. Relationships work the same way. They get better based on the direct proportion of how much inner work you've done. No inner work, no somebody's healed son. Somebody told you you deserved better because you live in a transactional society that says if you work hard, you get paid, right? In a linear way, like I put in this work, I built this empire, I deserve a good man. Well, you spent most of your time working on your empire. You didn't put the work in your spirit. If somebody grandmama taught them, you got to get something for your pussy, baby. You can't let a man just have free pussy. You understand? I used to, Sarah said her grandmama told her she used to get front row tickets with that pussy. I'm getting front row seats with this pussy. Do you understand? Listen, somebody told you just because you have one, right? It's supposed to pay your way through society. Now, please understand, that's passive-aggressive prostitution, if not outright prostitution. You live in a transactional society. I'm saying at some point there has to be some healing around that thought process. Like, Big Mama was wrong. Like, what's the difference between Big Mama and Nicki Minaj? Rich sex. If you fuck a broke nigga, I'ma tell. When we look at Tone Talks' numbers on the wealth gap in America, that would mean everybody's broke. So you can only fuck a slim amount of black men. So if you limit your dating pool to some, super uber unattainable kind of guy, then, and this is what a lot of people's minds and focus is on, right? So you want a better relationship, you got to heal those kind of dysfunctional beliefs. You do. And we have a shit ton of dysfunctional beliefs that we have acquired from our dysfunctional parents and their dysfunctional parents. Because remember, for a few generations, maybe 4 or 5 generations, those parents grew up Jim Crow, slavery, and all of that. Yeah. So here's an exercise. Everybody get a composition book and write all of the dysfunctional beliefs that came out of that thinking, that came out of that level of toxicity. I gave examples before. We live in a time where we got presidents that are trust fund babies in their damn 70s and white. And we trying to aspire to live like them, but we're broke on purpose. This is a system thing that they put together to make sure that we don't have the same kind of resources, education, and wealth. This is a systematic thing that they put together, right? Yeah. Okay. So what do? We adapt to the toxic system we're in. We turn around and say, all right, nigga, you 18. You better either go to the military, you better have a job, or you better go to school because you're going to get out my pocket. That's a wealth dysfunction that turned into a parenting standard. Do that exercise for your family. Everybody get a composition book and start, and if you got grandparents and mothers and fathers that are still alive, ask them, what were some of the dysfunctional beliefs around money, around scarcity? We had to make do with what we could. How many uncles from back in the 80s you heard say, this is the white man's world? Huh. You gonna recognize one day this is the white. Chronicle the negative beliefs in your family. And then ask yourself, what do you deserve in an intimate relationship? Me with somebody's healed. So, what? You better be healed. You don't get healing from the outside until you've received it from the inside. That's just how it works. Somebody told you, just because you deserve the best. Well, yeah, and you do deserve the best, but your deserving of the best is predicated on how much work you've put in to you.
But you live in a society where everybody gets a trophy.
Look at that. Say it again.
You live in a society where everybody gets a trophy.
But look.
What do you do at the YMCA?
But look. Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, says anything you've put 10,000 hours into makes you an expert. How many motherfuckers can say they put 10,000 hours into themselves? I'm not talking about your career. I'm not talking about your education. See, somebody told you that your career and your education is you. No, that's what you use to get money so you can move through society, social mobility. My uncle went to UCLA. One of my uncles, many uncles, I got a few uncles that went to UCLA. But anyway, my oldest uncle went to UCLA. He said, man, that damn degree ain't shit but a passport. So you can have different conversations at different levels of society. So I'm telling you, did you put 10,000 hours into you? 10,000. They want you to get your sheepskin in the South.
That's what they say, what a degree is. Sheepskin.
They want you to get your sheepskin, yes. Do you have a self degree? Have you conquered you? Have you put 10,000 hours of self-work, of shadow work into you? Not what you do. Many of us get that degree and say, I'm a doctor. No, I'm someone who practices medicine. No, who are you? Not what your occupation is. Who are you? And if you ain't got 10,000 hours in on your spirit books, that's why I say, lead with your flaws. Man, where my daddy at? 1978. I ain't seen the nigga since 1978. Daddy! Daddy! What's my daddy name? Shit, we don't even know if that name real. Where my brother James? James Gus Lewis.
Oh. My daddy name was Marvin.
My uncle named Marvin. My uncle might be your daddy. No, my uncle's alive. Okay. So anyway. That ain't funny though, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You got to put work in to you, into yourself. Nobody's going to come save you. Do you understand? Nobody's going to come save. Do you know how many brothers and sisters I have that I've never met?
I have 14.
I believe it. Thank you, LaToya, for helping people. The site is a little slow. If you have an Android, it's going to be putting around with a goddamn Android. And I hate that. But yes, refresh the website a couple of times and it should pop up. It pops right up on my phone. Let me see.
Then you say, somebody said if you go through Chrome, Google Chrome.
Somebody said go through Google Chrome and try it. Let me see. The site is a little slow, right? So let me refresh. Let's see what we can fuck with next. Well, let me just type it in. That's funny. I have an iPhone. The Shrouded Lighthouse. Let's see. Let's see. Motherfucker taking a second, ain't it? It's stuck. And it's loading. And it loaded. Boop. See that? Loaded. Y'all saw this load for me live. So I know it can be done.
Let me see if I can do it. I have an Android.
It loaded for me right there. That was like 10, 15 seconds. Hey, if you guys really appreciate what I do, can we get to 60? I need 60 by the end of the night. Let's get to 60 pre-orders. And yes, I'm aware of the website. We have talked to Sam Cart several different occasions. They said nothing was wrong with it. We told them there is something wrong with it. It's taking people a long time to load up. You saw how long or how quick it loaded up for me. Y'all see my baby girl? Y'all can't see her. This is my daughter. She's so beautiful. She hates this picture, but I love it. I took it while she was on her way to prom. My lessons be coming, my nigga. My lessons be coming. Shit, they be coming. A daughter, a granddaughter. Yours just popped up?
And I have an Android.
Well, Sarah's popped up too. All right. We've gotten, let me just say this. We have a conversion rate of less than 3% on the website. We've gotten almost 11,000 visits to the website, but we're at 430, if we're at 437, we got 3 orders today, then that means we're at 440 right now. 60 copies remaining. I'd appreciate whatever support, super chats, cash apps. Could you guys hit Sarah on her cash app? Because again, these be her days at work. She comes here and she supports this show big time. And I also break her off some cash every now. But, you know, it's important that we support our own, right? It's important that we support our own. And I think my overall message here today was we put a lot of energy and effort into attacking our own, but I think we should put a little bit more energy into supporting our own, even if it's ideas and concepts that we don't necessarily agree with. And of course, I tried to make it funny and comical or whatever, but there is a lot of work for all individuals to do, starting with myself. So please show Sarah some love, right? Please support Sarah, and please, by all means, get your Z-Moss. Hold on, let me get over here. Z-Moss. Brought to you by Zozer, Zoe Williams, Z-Moss. Go to cmossbusiness.com, cmossbusiness.com. We only have 50 bottles of this, and I think we've sold about 10 or 12. Hey, man, sell us out. Get all of those too, man. Black-owned business, especially during a pandemic, we're going to need that bladder rack, burdock, black pepper, and Irish moss. So continue to support. TheShroudedLighthouse.com. Sarah, on our way out, can you play all of the promos for that video? I appreciate you all for just, listening to me ramble. I'm an old man. I be forgetting shit. But I feel like, when we get in here and we start talking, we be talking like family. And I just appreciate being able to chop it up with my people and get the feedback. G Smooth hit us with $25 on the super chat. He said, "Thank you, Zo." No, thank you. And I done told people that damn super chat done went the way of the dodo. Nobody really be hitting that super chat no more, but it's okay, man. It's okay. We need y'all love. We need y'all support. I thank everybody, for tuning in. Sarah, do you want to say anything to the folk? Is there anything you need to promote or?
It's in a couple weeks, yes.
Well, shit, are you going to say it or no?
Sundays with Sarah is coming back.
Sundays with Sarah is coming back.
Yeah.
He's coming back. Hey man, the Shrouded Lighthouse is coming at the end of June. That shit's gonna be hot monkey grits. I cannot wait to unleash this book. I am so fucking thrilled. TheShroudedLighthouse.com. Only 60 copies remain for the autograph copy special. Let's all move on that quick. Share this video. If you like portions of the video, cut it up. Send me clips of what you thought was cool, and let's push it around social media as well. I thank you guys. Once again, I'm Zo Williams. I'm out. Deuces.
So when we talk about unhealed inner work, we're also talking about modeling. Our parents are works in progress. So oftentimes we're teaching them as they're raising us. And whatever they haven't worked on, children tend to model that. It was Bowlby who talked about attachment theory. And in Bowlby's work, whatever attachment style you developed as an infant goes on into adulthood, and it will present itself in your relationships, whether that is a secure attachment, an insecure attachment, or an indifferent attachment. The wounds that our parents left unhealed has the potential to become the standards and principles we have for relationships as adults ourselves. So when we talk about unhealed inner work, we're also talking about modeling. Our parents are works in progress that we find ourselves so oftentimes we're teaching them as they're raising us. And whatever they haven't worked on, children tend to model. Good, we've taken accountability of what we've been through, how we've been hurt, unhealed trauma. That causes us to shift in consciousness. So situation shifts can be very beneficial, right? If you're learning. Most people do not enter a relationship to find out what's wrong with themselves. Most people are looking for relationships to bring ease and peace, but that is only half of the coin. You're a co-creator of this relationship experience you're currently in, and that's why a situation shift has a silver lining. In the context of the Shrouded Lighthouse, it's really simple. Whatever you haven't worked on, I classify as a dark light. So if you have anger issues, that's a dark light. If you have abandonment issues, that's a dark light. If you can never take responsibility for what goes wrong in your life, for the struggles that you have in your life, and if you create these coping mechanisms that put all of the culpability on your partner, right? You have to protect me. You have to protect me from myself. These are dark lights. Dark lights are imperceptible. They're harder to see. And sometimes you got to get past that 18-month honeymoon window of the new relationship in order for these dark lights to start rising to the surface. And they rise to the surface so that they may be reconciled. Now, in my previous book, The Holographic Relationship, I talked about spiritual entropy in context to the scientific model. Entropy is the second law of thermodynamics. And what that basically says is any energy system that goes on will begin to break down the longer it goes on. In relationships, this is how we find ourselves looking for that spark that was lost. Another term for entropy is hidden information. So when we talk about entropy, the longer we don't address something, the longer we don't confront something in relationship, the more the relationship begins to break down into chaos. I believe two people, or people in general, have two separate lighthouses. Now, if we look at light in terms of the frequencies and the bandwidth, what is considered visible light is a very small spectrum. What's a wider spectrum is invisible light. What is invisible light? Ultraviolet rays, X-rays, gamma rays. This is light radiation that can't be perceived by the human eye. The metaphor is quite simple. Everybody is a lighthouse that's calling relationships to them, to the shores of their soul, to be reconciled. But you also have a dark lighthouse that works in the same way that the visible lighthouse does. That dark lighthouse is what you haven't healed. That's also calling people into your life so it can be reconciled, so it can be turned into what I call a visible light.